Hello, I'm Jennifer King Rice, Senior Vice President and Provost of the University of Maryland. What you're about to experience is the work of the Arts for All initiative and the College of Arts and Humanities, who curated this gathering of music and poetry performed by University of Maryland students, faculty, and alumni. I want to thank Stephanie Schoeniken, Dean of the College of Arts and Humanities, and Craig Keir, Director of the Arts for All initiative, for their vision to create a program centered on the arts that invites us to reflect, connect, and support each other. Our interconnectedness makes us strong and helps us to see that caring for ourselves and caring for each other are inextricably bound. The community of care we cultivate in many ways, including through the arts, is key to creating a healthy campus climate and promoting our collective well-being. Thank you for taking the time to listen to this program.
Hello, I'm Stephanie Schoeniken, the Dean of the College of Arts and Humanities.
And I'm Craig Keir, Director of the campus-wide initiative, Arts for All. Tonight we welcome you to a program titled Music and Community, Reflections on Hope and Home. A year ago we gathered together for our first Music and Community concert. It was a time in which there was violence that had broken out in the Middle East, and we recognized the way gathering together as a community through music was important to allow us to come together and be reminded of our shared humanity. While the complicated nature of our lives has continued, what remains consistent is how the arts, music, and poetry can bring us together. Tonight, we do so as we reflect on the themes of hope and home. We begin tonight with a piece by the famous jazz saxophonist John Coltrane. Coltrane was the great American jazz saxophonist, bandleader, and composer. And in 1966, just less than a year before his death, he famously said, "I know that there are bad forces, forces that bring suffering to others and misery to the world. I want to be the opposite force. I want to be the force which is truly for good." In that vein, we begin tonight with Dear Lord by John Coltrane from the album Transition. And while some see this as a prayer, we recognize that this is ultimately a plea to ourselves for each of us to contribute to a world that is more beautiful. Please enjoy this performance of Dear Lord by School of Music faculty member Tim Powell playing the saxophone and students Deontay Haggerty Willis on guitar and Henry Shepard on bass.
That was beautiful. Thank you. Our next piece is a medley of two songs, two really important songs. The first one is Imagine, written by John Lennon and Yoko Ono, and performed by John Lennon on his album of the same title, Imagine, in 1971. It is a beautiful song that reflects the time. 1971 is a time that the world is in turmoil. The Vietnam War and so many other wars happening around the world. And so Imagine is a song that invites us to think about what would happen if the barriers that people have put up between us, if those barriers were lowered. What would that world look like? And I think that song resonates with us right now so deeply and so well. The other song that you'll be hearing in this segment is the song that Michael Jackson wrote in 1991, 20 years after John Lennon. This is a song called Heal the World. Both Michael Jackson and John Lennon are zooming out, asking us to think not just about ourselves, but about the people that inhabit this earth. Heal the World was a song that Michael Jackson wrote for the children. And so if we could think about these two songs as being in conversation, 20 years separated in terms of the timeline. You'll be hearing these two songs performed on steel pan. And for me, this is very personal. The steel pan is an instrument that was created out of real struggle in Trinidad and Tobago, which is where my mother's from. And so for me, when we think about hope and home, these two songs embody that very, very well. This instrument is an instrument that is bright, but also resonates with so much pain and struggle, but also triumph. And so on steel pan is our very own alum, Josanne Francis, who is also the director of steel pans for the School of Music. And she is the lead community coordinator, program coordinator in the Office of Community Engagement right here at the University of Maryland. Accompanying Josanne is Imam Hamdani on guitar. Please enjoy.
Thank you, Josanne and Imam. That was beautiful. Now we turn our attention towards poetry. We should never underestimate the power that words can have, especially when written by our students here at the University of Maryland. We're very fortunate to have the Jimenez Porter Writers House as a campus-wide literary center for the study of creative writing across cultures. The Writers House residents live in close community, and there are as many as 60 undergraduate students from across our campus that come together. They create stories, poems, and plays. And today, we're fortunate to have senior English major with a creative writing and linguistics minor, Amelia Hae-Young Yang, who will read her poem, Tomb Sweeping. Tomb Sweeping was one of the prize winners of last spring's Jimenez Porter Literary Prize. Please welcome Amelia.
Tomb sweeping. The women in our household are not allowed to go tomb sweeping. Twice a year after they burnt the incense and the ancestral rites were done, the men would collect their sharpened shears and serrated scythes, put on long sleeves and pack beekeeper hats, because one year Granddad got stung and swore in front of the dead, and head somewhere into the deep mountains where my ancestors rested under a blanket of grass. I did not think much of it at the time. My older brother had gone, and rightfully so, the duty of the oldest sibling. Secretly, I liked spending afternoons watching reruns of cartoons while he hiked up a mountain, sweating, and cut weed for 3 hours. That is until my little brother turned 13 and was promptly allowed to tag along. He got his own beekeeper hat, and nothing seemed so shiny as his new mini shears gleaming in the afternoon sunlight. He returned with a glistening forehead, regaling tales of the sip of Weiss Rhine he was allowed, and how Uncle Chol said the ancestors have now blessed him. With my lips now more protruded than my nose, I sulked back into the kitchen, where my mother and grandmother, my aunties and aunties-in-law, the daughters and daughters-in-law, were sitting flipping chon. I want the ancestors to bless me too, Amma. Bless me, Amma, me. My mother took one glance at me, patted the empty space next to her, slipped a sweet persimmon into my mouth, and handed me a pair of tongs. The women in our household are not allowed to go tomb sweeping. For a while, I wasn't too bothered by it, but pretended to be for a sly bit of dried persimmon. Then, freshman year, I returned from class angry about how angry I was, and angry about how not angry everyone else seemed to be. My mother sat me down next to her in the circle of women, told me to sit still and look. My mother and grandmother, my aunties and aunties-in-law, the daughters and daughters-in-law, with flour on their fingertips in front of sputtering oil, talked about their worries and joys, updates on their boys, their new mother of pearls, but most of all, their girls. They talked about those who are still here, but more so about those who didn't make it so far. They remembered love while shearing off the excess of fish, paid their respects one peeled apple at a time, the living sweeping for the living.
Thank you, Amelia. Next, we will enjoy a performance by James Stern on violin and Rita Sloan on piano. Both of these esteemed faculty members in the School of Music selected this piece by Robert Schumann because of the way it addressed the time of today. The second movement of Schumann's D minor violin sonata is rooted in a folkloric theme that Schumann wrote, but it also represents a sense of pain and sorrow that is not quickly resolved. This performance embodies the sense of not only uncertainty, but the importance of taking the time to reflect on this moment that is filled with sorrow for countless members of our community.
I mean, that was truly beautiful, Craig. As a pianist yourself, how do you respond to this kind of piece?
It's so simple that it's actually very difficult to do beautifully. But that's actually the thing that this performance represents,
Right.
is the beauty of simplicity and the way it can capture the breadth of pain of countless themes that
Right.
come up.
Right.
He's a romantic composer, and we think of romanticism as extremes of emotions. And yet this piece is perfectly simple for all the reasons that we just experienced.
Right. Which is why I'm really grateful that we're recording this and that we can share it so people can go back and listen to it again and again. Because I think you get those levels
Right.
of depth through the simplicity when you hear it a
Right.
number of times. And how lucky are we to have Rita Sloan and James Stern here to do it for us.
And not only that, but the breadth of artistry on our campus
Yeah.
with faculty, staff, students, alumni is
Absolutely.
extraordinary.
Absolutely. So the next piece is another poem. This is our second poem of the program. This is a poem that is reflective of what is going on around us. The poet who delivers this poem is someone that I've worked with since I got here to the University of Maryland. And the first time I heard her read her own poetry, I was blown away. I was really impressed with the delivery, the cadence of the delivery, but also the particular attention she takes to language and capturing a sense of what the theme is that she's working with at any point in time. And so when we started to conceive of this program, I immediately thought of her and asked if she would read a poem. And little did we know that she would actually write a poem especially for this occasion, knowing that this is the second time that we're doing this program. This is our second music and community program. So she wrote this poem especially for us. So the poet who is going to be giving us this poem is our colleague, Dr. Fatima Keshavarz Karamustafa. She is the director of the Roshan Institute for Persian Studies and is the Roshan Chair for Persian Studies here at the University of Maryland. This is a poem called Birds Without a Name, and the poem invites you to think about what happens when we are stripped of our names, our families, our hope, and ultimately our homes.
Birds without a name. Where are you from? They ask. From the Iranian plateau, I say, one of the world's tallest summits of poetry. Dancing to the rhythm of words comes as natural as walking into a store for a loaf of bread. An ecstatic dance it is too, at the intersection of anguish and hope. A poem, its every word pulled from the depths of vulnerability, as true to joy as it is to pain. What do you do for a living? They look puzzled. I do not say I teach. I fit my resume into words. I care. That is what I do for a living. I care for our endangered humanity, barricading it as best as I can against anger, violence, and hate. For you see, I have been through a revolution, a divorce, and 6 uninterrupted years of separation from someone I love more than my life, my daughter. I am not alien to pain, though joy is never out of reach either. The other day, my bright undergrad Jay quoted Hildegard of Bingen, saying, "Do not forget how to dance, or the angels wouldn't know what to do with you." That awakened enormous joy. "Call them angels of peace, Hildegard," I almost cried out. Dancing to our cries of pain and pulses of joy, rising from the fraught intersections of anguish and hope, our 2 wings powering our flight, singing to be heard. We long to live in a world that can dream. You tell them, Hildegard, there are no magic destinations on the horizon. Our journey is our destination. Why not hold on to peace with our lives and not feel naive about it? For bombs pollute more than the air. They pollute our dreams. Tell them. Tell them there are places in the world where women, prophets, and guides, friends of the birds and the sky, climb up the tallest trees they can find and sing, because they know the world needs their voice. Having lived long, their time is short. They do not mince their words. You, the young, the bright, and the beautiful, they would say. You, the heartbeat of your campus and community. You, quick to climb up any tree. Look beyond your yard. There is a colorful world out there. Go into it, not in search of power, but songs and early scents that awaken life. What is this nonsense about singing? Who will hear it in the midst of this chaos? You murmur. The world has been in the habit of falling apart from day one, answered the ladies. Pick up the pieces. Pick up the pieces every day. Clean up the muck. leftovers of cruelty and hate, and the fresh waters of togetherness become imaginable. Do not say togetherness and community are hollow claims in this fragmented world. They won't be hollow when you fill them with your body and soul, would they? Comes their answers. And build us a brave, new, livable world while you're at it. We know you can. These demanding lady prophets and guides from other parts of the world. On the positive side, they're helpful. In these harrowing times of deep fake and disinformation that defied powers of good and evil, they know how you can shed. They know how we can shed our addiction to sound bites. And look beneath the wreckage of the broken narratives and curated news for real stories to be told. Good and evil are too easy, they would say. Let life drown you in its many colors and wash away cultural disconnect, the deadliest disease of our time. Become a bird if you must, but fly above your fears. Let it take you through the valley of anguish, where there are those who fell on October 7. Those who went to listen to music and never returned. Those who were taken. Then turn around and look at those who have not stopped falling ever since. Those whose music have been taken. Those whose dreams have been banished, as has their hopes and their homes. My young birds without a name, it is your turn to sing. Let your two wings of anguish and hope power your flight, till the skies are purged of killer birds. Till the skies are purged of killer birds. Listen to the prophet inside when she says, "Let there be music, for a world without songs is powerless." And if we forget how to dance, the angels won't know what to do with us. Thank you.
Thank you, Fatima. Earlier this fall, we had an extraordinary experience through the ARHU Dean's Lecture Series in collaboration with Arts for All. I'll let the Dean talk about what that was, but what it did for me, and I think our entire community, is it illustrated the power of Arts for All and ARHU when we come together and what we can do, such as this program. Tell us a little bit about what the Dean's Lecture Series was, please.
Yes, so the Dean's Lecture Series is a program that we host once or twice a year. And this year, working with you, Craig, as the director of Arts for All and your incredible team, we decided that we were going to go big. And so we invited a great alum to campus, and the alum's name is Kermit the Frog. And we wanted to bring Kermit to campus because he was conceived on this campus by one of our alums, Our other alums, Jim Henson, I say that Kermit is an alum with, it's tongue in cheek, but really he was conceived here. And so Kermit the Frog came in October, and standing room only, of course, because of the generations of people who have been influenced by Sesame Street, The Muppet Show, and Kermit the Frog, and all the other Muppets. And so I had an incredible conversation with Kermit, and we talked about the state of the world. And I loved what Kermit said to all of us in the audience, which was be kind to each other, and remember that at the end of the day we're all one. And so towards the end of the program, we invited him to sing one more song, and so he said he would only do it if we sang along with him. And so we all sang the song that so many of us have known and loved for many years. And the song is called Rainbow Connection. And you'll remember and recall and maybe even relive how electric that experience was. And of course, you were on piano.
Yeah, it was extraordinary.
Yeah.
There were generations of people coming together, a diverse audience filled with our entire community, singing a song about this elusive connection we all seek. And it was a moment, I think, of real pride
Right.
for all of us that an alumni of the University of Maryland is the person who created this connection that is
Correct.
a worldwide connection.
Yeah, yeah. Good. So we're going to share it with you all. This is the end of the program, the sing-along, Rainbow Connection. As you listen, please reflect on how someday we will find it, but it's going to take all of us trying to find that rainbow connection.
Here we go. Why are there so many songs about rainbows, and what's on the other side? Rainbows are visions, but only illusions, and rainbows have nothing to hide. So we've been told, and some choose to believe it. I know they're wrong, wait and see. Someday we'll find it, the rainbow connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and me. Who said that every wish would be heard and answered when wished on the morning star? Somebody thought of that, and someone believed it. Look what it's done so far. What's so amazing that keeps us stargazing? And what do we think we might see? Someday we'll find it, the rainbow connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and me. All of us under its spell. We know that it's probably magic. Have you been half asleep, and have you heard voices? I've heard them calling my name. Is this the sweet sound that calls the young sailors? The voice might be one and the same. I've heard it too many times to It's something that I'm supposed to be. Someday we'll find it, the rainbow connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and me. La da da dee da da doo. La da 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 dee da doo.
I think we all did a great job with that song with Kermit. Again, really grateful to Kermit for coming to the University of Maryland. We'll remember it for many, many years to come. And now we will go to our last piece for the program. This is a song that I have always loved. It's a song called Home from The Wiz. And of course, The Wiz is a Broadway musical that was first staged in 1975. It's a take on The Wizard of Oz, but it is certainly, one would say, it's an African-American take on Wizard of Oz. And the first person who sang this song, I believe, was Stephanie Mills. So, great Stephanies everywhere. This song called Home is a song I think we wanted to end with, Craig, because it is really reminding us that at the end of the day, it's a human right to have a sense of home, right? Wherever you are, whatever side you're on, this is all about a place that you can be and feel that you belong. And so Home is really one of my favorite songs of all time because it reminds me of my own beginnings, having been born during a civil war myself. And my mother having to be evacuated with my two brothers and me being born as they are being evacuated. And the wages of war on families like mine, I ended up losing a brother and pretty much losing a father as well in so many ways. And so when I think about my own beginnings and how my mother looked for home, in two different parts of the world and finally came back to a home that was changed. I think about what so many people are going through around the world. So this song is a yearning for home. In many ways, the University of Maryland, our campus, is home to faculty, staff, and students. And we strive, I think, every day to make it feel more welcoming to everybody. And so home is micro, but it's also very macro. And I hope that you think of all the ways home is for you as you listen to this song. On soprano, our singer for this song is the wonderful Jordan Embreck. She graduated from the School of Theater, Dance, and Performance Studies just this last May, 2024, and she is magic when she takes the mic, and she's not even taking the mic here, but her voice is just so beautiful. And on piano is my dear friend and colleague, Craig Kier. Please enjoy.
When I think of home, I think of a place where there's love overflowing. I wish I was home, I wish I was back there with the things I've been knowing. Winds that make the tall grass bend into leaning. Suddenly the snowflakes that fall have a meaning. Sprinkling the seed makes it all clean. Maybe there's a chance for me to go back now that I have some direction. would show